So Sandeep, thank you so much for taking out time.
Thank you
Tell
for
me,
having me.
tell me a little bit about your product, how it started,
Sure.
and how did you find the product market fit finally?
Sure. We started. I co-founded this company in 2016 with my brother Vishal. Vishal handles the tech side of business. I handle the operation side. And we come with a family background of almost 45 plus years in the medtech and pharmaceutical space. And it was to address those problems that we encountered in this industry that we started up Doctors Bazaar. Doctors Bazaar initially was started as a community, basically to help medtech hospitals in the developing countries reach out to medtech companies in the developed world, make product discovery, technical discussions, etc., much more easier. And that's how we started out the community. And the community is still very active there. Last year we generated almost about $110 million worth of inquiries for companies like GE, BPL, Scanray, all those companies listed on the platform. We generated a lot of inquiries for them. We've got almost 4,500 plus products listed on the platform, starting from a small blood pressure monitor to an MRI, a CT scan. And that's really that is how we started out. But we then later on pivoted to one main segment, which is the e-commerce application that we developed. It's called the storefront.
Yeah.
So that was quite interesting how that we actually pivoted to that. So we were pitching to a company called Medtronic. Medtronic is a large multi-billion-dollar medtech company, and we were pitching to the diabetes division to list their products onto a platform. And they came back to us and said, Sandeep, why don't you set up an e-commerce store for us? And we really wanted to explore the e-commerce for a B2C segment. Yeah. And that's when we asked, what's the big deal about e-commerce? You already have so many companies. You have Shopify and BigCommerce and so many companies that basically offer this tool. And what's unique about that? So they said, okay, we've tried all those things, but our challenge basically is, helping our distributors be a part of that e-commerce delivery. Yeah. And that problem statement actually stayed with us, a lot. And we did a lot of research, to find out about why So first of all, medtech industry is literally not there in e-commerce at all. So they're not really exploring e-commerce as a tool. And one of the reasons for that is it's a distributor-driven industry. And the distributor plays a very important role, not just in logistics and channel financing, but they also do a lot of technical selling. They literally build the market for the medtech company, establish the brand there, and also do a lot of after-sales service. So the models that are available today, e-commerce models that are available today, especially for an enterprise that already has an existing distribution network, it's very difficult for them to adopt that because it either means bypassing your whole channel or selecting very few people within that channel to do the fulfillment. And it basically creates a lot of online-offline conflict, and that literally disrupts. And for a medtech company which is so dependent on their distributors, they never really wanted to create that kind of a conflict. So as I was saying, I'll just repeat what I said with Medtronic. So the challenge with medtech companies adopting e-commerce basically is that they don't really want to alienate their existing distribution structure. Because the e-commerce models that exist today either means that companies have to select either a very few out of those large number of distributors that they have to do the fulfillment, or try to go direct to the customers. So they don't really want to alienate the people who are actually generating the business for them and building the brand there. And that got us thinking, and and the way we had actually generated the community was on a multi-tiered structure. So we also have patent for that, for having a multi-tiered market network community, and we basically thought we could use that to help Medtronic create an e-commerce store. And that was how the concept of the microstore was actually born. And what it allows companies to do is literally replicate your entire existing offline distribution structure into an e-commerce structure. So if a company actually has, say, 10 distributors in India, they can actually onboard these distributors as their service partners on the e-commerce store. They can allocate geographies to them, products to them, pricing, and they can actually, the distributors can onboard the inventory which they want to dedicate to the online store and do the fulfillment of these in the geographies that have been allocated to them. So what it allows companies to do is they can have one single domain name where they can literally pull all their customers into do the digital marketing, invest in digital marketing, get the traffic going to that single store, and actually have their local distributors do the fulfillment.
Can you also show the backend configuration? If you can show the product also, how does it look in the backend?
So what I'll do is I'll basically take you to one of the customers who are there. It's Rudolf Riester. So Rudolf Riester is a German brand which was started in 1948, and they're one of the global leaders as far as diagnostic products are concerned, doctors' diagnostic products are concerned. Riester actually has over 150 distributors world over. And they were actually looking at an e-commerce solution which they could roll out globally, invest a lot of marketing effort into that one single digital asset, while at the same time have their local distributors who are carrying stock locally, who actually go through a lot of regulatory steps to basically register those products locally and get the license to sell those products locally. They wanted the local distributors, to actually do the fulfillment of these orders. And this is a perfect fit. The storefront solution was a perfect fit for them. Right now we are active in 3 countries: India, Malaysia, Thailand. We are also onboarding another 5 countries in Africa. And the target for Riester would be to go ahead and be active in as many countries as possible by the year end. So just to show you how it works. So for example, in India, I can select a territory of my own, and the customer, when he logs in, he would be either outed, or he can select which territory he wants the fulfillment. So in Kerala, what you're actually seeing is the microstore of that particular distributor who's servicing Kerala. Right. So you can see the products that are active with them. You can place an order with them. The payment would be automatically routed to the local distributor's account, and the order fulfillment would be done by that particular local distributor. Well, Riester would actually get to see, okay, he has got, this is the inventory pattern which my distributor is following. These are the orders that he has shipped today. These are pending for want of stock, etc. So it basically makes it very easy for each company, not just to look at the inventory portfolio of that particular distributor, but also ensures that the customers are trusting their brand to go ahead and place an order. Right? They can also ensure that the order fulfillment metrics, etc., are kept in place, and they are fulfilled. Same way, and we have immense amount of customization possibilities here. So, for example, this is a Thai shop which we've created. So the workflow. So, for example, Thai FDA actually wants certain amount of workflow. So they want to ensure that the customer is a medical practitioner. If he's a medical practitioner, he wants certain forms to be filled. I'm just going to fill that. Then they'll basically, once the order is placed, only against this particular form fill will they actually go ahead and confirm the order. So the content is local. You got the workflows which are required for checkout workflows, etc. That is localized. For example, some countries. So we were onboarding the African distributor. Africa actually requires you to upload, the doctors to upload their medical licenses when they're buying certain equipments online. So there's a process which is already in place where the distributor can actually verify the medical license before he actually goes ahead and confirms his order. So in terms of compliance, in terms of the workflows that work in a medical device industry, we have got all those things mapped, and it's very easy for a company to scale up. So, for example, if Riester actually wants to go live and they have got all the data of active products, etc., ready, it doesn't take us more than 30 minutes to basically go live with in a country, and that's we offer that kind of flexibility to the companies.
I also want to know, because a lot of these stories are about personal hustle. How did you start the personal life, work-life balance that might have been messed up initially, and finally, what's the vision now going forward? If you can talk about these 2 aspects in this section of the interview.
Sure. So, I mean, so the whole journey, right from 2016, till now, we've seen a lot of ups and downs. The biggest down that we have seen was basically, we invested. I just pooled my entire life savings and put it into this company, and we hired a third-party software provider to basically do the coding, because Vishal just couldn't join on time. He had just got a new job. He had just got into a project, and he didn't want to leave that project in between and just come join the startup. So we had outsourced that. The long story short, at the end of 6 months, we didn't have a product. We had actually spent the entire money, and we didn't have a working product with us. And that was so depressing and for us, because the whole idea behind this I mean, we could see all those UX, etc., working, but at the back end, there was a lot of errors, etc., which were popping up, and that guy didn't do a job. And then Vishal joined us in October 2016, and he just literally started single-handedly did the whole coding by himself, literally redid the whole coding work and got the platform somewhat ready by the end of March 2017. So that was the biggest low which I could find in the sense, like, you had a big idea, you invested a lot of money, and at the end of 6 months, you didn't have the money nor the product with you, right? So that was the biggest, toughest challenge that I had to live. The biggest high was actually getting the pre-seed funding from Axelor. They had been observing us for a long time. They talked to a lot of our customers, and then they decided to do a pre-seed funding to a company, and that was really a good validation for us to have from a third party. We were quite confident. We still are very confident about the product, but for a third person to basically come in and put in his money, that was the biggest high that we've got.
Absolutely. Now, what's the goal? What's the vision now for?
I mean, as far as the product is concerned, we've got a lot of inquiries. We've got a very strong pipeline with the medtech companies in line. We've also got inquiries from other industries as well. Wanting to adopt this particular model. So any enterprise which has an established distribution network who wants to adopt a direct-to-consumer channel, this is really a right software for them. Because it also not just allows them to monitor and manage the store, but it also allows the distributors to get involved in the store management of order fulfillment, inventory management, etc., and then be a good partners to them, not just for the offline but also online. One of the things that we are actually doing is also helping. So the biggest challenge that we are finding when we talk to our customers is that they don't really have an established e-commerce know-how within the organization. So most of the expertise has actually been with dealing with marketplaces. When it comes to running the organization, when it comes to scaling up the organization to meet the demand. So, for example, we were talking to one of the B2C products, one of the largest players in the B2C space for medical devices. When we talked to them about customers, they said, okay, if we were to launch our own direct-to-customer store, we would have to cater to 10,000 orders or 15,000 orders a week. And this is a huge scale up from 100 or 200 orders per week that our warehouse, etc., is used to cater to. And even if our distributors or retail network is actually doing it, I mean, we don't really have the know-how of how to ensure those processes are in place. Although the system actually allows them to view all these things, etc. So there's a lot of significant handholding that is required. So we are actually setting up a customer success team right now to ensure that at scale, these companies can easily migrate to a e-commerce store, ensure that they can actually measure customer success metrics, as well as ensure that the quality, etc., in terms of delivery, in terms of fulfillment, in terms of the inventory level, all those things are actually maintained across the supply chain. So we are that's basically the road ahead as far as this platform is concerned, into ensuring we basically there for the customer to actually during the implementation phase itself. So earlier we were just happy in giving the technology to the companies and let them use it the way they want to. But now it's looking to be, and given the gap that exists across the customer segment, we basically feel that that's going to be a huge value add for customers.
Do you want to take a moment and maybe articulate your vision statement? I mean, if you don't have, that's fine. Maybe just like in a sentence, if you want to close this interview with a vision statement, what would that be?
So we want to basically be the e-commerce software for enterprise customers. And that's basically how we want to put it. There are a lot of softwares which are available today, which works at an org level or at an enterprise level. But when it comes to a network, deploying e-commerce at a network level, I think we are the only company that currently has that tech and know-how there. And that's where we want to be.
Awesome. Glad to know. And thanks again for the interview.
Thank you so much.
We look forward to have others also hear your story now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.